Hi, I'm Greg. I'm the lead singer for Lipstick Generation.
And I'm Steve. I'm the bassist.
And welcome to the Lipstick Panel. Today on the Lipstick Panel, we are doing a special commentary track for my favorite movie of all time, Frozen.
Yay!
To get everyone pumped for Frozen 2, we're marathoning all the Frozen media. Steve and myself enjoying it. And yeah,
Somebody's enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it. And I'm about to hit the play button. Steve, you want to give us the countdown?
Well, should I explain the rules first?
Sure, explain the rules first, buddy.
The rules of watching the movie Frozen for like the 16th time is every time somebody should be killed by ice, you do a shot of your favorite cinnamon whiskey to warm yourself up. So I'll be having a good time in a bit.
All right, Steve, give us that countdown and I'll press the play button.
Pressing play in 3, 2, 1, go.
And then you give it a sec to load.
Right, because the disc needs to spin. There it goes. Na na na, hey ya na na. Hey na na.
Man, it's been a while since we watched this movie together, buddy.
It's true, it has been. Not since we lived together.
Yeah. There you go. It's just
like old times.
Just like old times, we're on my couch watching Frozen together.
It's true, this is your couch.
I have so much of my crap here, I'm sorry.
It's true. So much of your crap. Disney logo.
Are we going to remember all the old jokes we used to make all the times we had Frozen parties?
Oh, I don't remember. What were the old jokes we used to make?
I don't know, but remember, like, we would do, like, a commentary, essentially, when watching the movie, because you'd seen it so many times.
Public domain character, Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
And the disc just stuck for a second.
We should probably rewind it.
So we're out of sync now. I don't think it matters.
Nah, let's rewind it. Rewinding! I'll just edit it.
Starting this process over. Nah, hey, nah, nah. Nah, nah, hey, nah, nah. Got spicy Chinese food stuck in my throat.
There you go. Got that classic Vuele starting the film off. Sounds like The Lion King.
Sounds like The Lion King, but, you know, without the "oh shit, it's a lion" lyrics.
Right.
There's that Disney logo. There's that classic public domain Mickey Mouse character.
Whistling, looking excited.
Steamboat Willie. Technically, that film is copyrighted still. Hey, look, it froze in that exact same spot where it froze last time. I think we're just gonna have to put up with that.
All right.
Greg's disc is scratched, so please scratch your disc in the exact same place that Greg did.
I think it's not scratched, just like my computer just isn't very good.
Buffering. Snowflakes. Frozen.
Beautiful, beautiful logo.
Who's Hana? Is there like a third Disney princess that they're not talking about? Ah, yes. Ice chopping song.
Very cool shot. You've seen the saws cutting through the ice.
Ice stabbing song.
What a way to start off the film with vague exposition told by a chorus of men in lyrics that are kind of hard to decipher upon first listen.
Right? Hey, it's those characters will be important later.
Right? It's a very weird sequence to start the movie with.
It's true. Especially since I'm not entirely sure there's actually any coherent order to the tasks that they're showing people doing here.
Right?
They're just like hacking at ice randomly. Also, what's his name?
Kristoff
Sven.
and Sven. Well, yeah, he's a small child. He is not as good as these grown professionals.
He's not any good at all. He's garbage at it.
I mean, look, everyone's first band is kind of rough.
Speak for yourself. Llama Mall was great.
Was it? Was it really?
Yes.
All right, I buy it.
Depending on what you want to consider great. I mean, we never ever performed live. And the one album we produced isn't very good. Is one of them Hannah?
No.
Anna's almost Hannah.
Close enough. When I was first flirting with Amanda via text message, she asked what I was up to, and I said, the sky's awake, so I'm awake, so I have to play. And she didn't realize I was referencing Frozen, so she thought I was just being a monologuing artist, talking about, you know, the beauty of creating art, when I was just quoting a children's film. I'm married now, so kids, that's the trick.
She's got like quote Disney lyrics at them.
Right, and then just make sure they don't know the Disney lyrics. Then they're just going to think you're just some really edgy, cool artist.
Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns.
But see, this right here is a brilliant blending of what makes Pixar so great and what makes Disney so great. Because Pixar is really good at nailing the, like, super cute thing.
It's true.
And this
sequence is pretty adorable.
Right. It definitely has that Pixar vibe to it. But has the grandeur of Disney.
Yep.
Ah, yes, my favorite Crash Bandicoot level. Headshot.
And that is the first time somebody dies by ice. Cheers. Ah.
You're gonna be so trashed by the end of this, dude.
God, that cinnamon whiskey is awful.
Actually, did we check if this is actually safe for you to do?
We didn't. But neither was the Gojira episode, so...
She's cold as ice, willing to sacrifice our love.
If my ketchup bottle empties out, then we'll reconsider our life choices.
Oh.
Also, I just ate a whole bunch of Chinese food, so I got a lot of carbs in my stomach to absorb it, slow it down. I'd forgotten that one horse leaves a trail of ice as it runs.
I mean, there's a lot of really great small details in this movie. So the kind of film that, you know, rewards rewatching it over and over again with your best friend.
Or alone, as the case may be.
Right.
Forget, did the trolls, like, raise Kristoff, or...
Rock and roll!
Rolling rocks! Not the beer.
It's the internet comment section.
Internet comment section. Now, that's when they adopted him.
Yes, right there.
That one's like an important plot point. I like that they were like, was she born with these powers, or was she cursed? She looks like a Disney princess. She might have gotten cursed.
I mean, you know, it's important to ask. I've heard a lot of people make commentary that Elsa's character is like supposed to be an allegory for homosexuality. And like, no, you're just born that way.
Okay. I mean, a lot of theater kids like this movie, I guess.
Right?
Is the mind killer. Fear is the small death that something I don't remember.
I know a lot of people are criticizing the parents for the decision they made, but you know what? Until your kid has magical, potentially lethal ice powers, man, like, that's a tough gig for a parent.
I mean, I guess.
Like, as you're trying to teach your little, X-Men daughter how to control her ice powers.
Yeah. But
Like, no, they
she
still
has to be queen.
Yeah, no, they still did it wrong, but I'm saying, like, man,
Shitty parents with good intentions?
I'll take that over just, like, shitty parents with shitty intentions.
What about good parents with shitty intentions?
I think they're good parents. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, that's a thing, too.
Who are you thinking of as a shitty parent with... or a good parent with shitty intentions?
I don't know, Heihachi from Tekken. He got the he got the job done of what he wanted.
He didn't get the job done. His intended job was throw your child off a cliff so he dies.
No, throw your child off a cliff so he comes back as a badass warrior and is angry. He succeeded.
Conceal, don't feel.
But yeah, the sequence is amazing. You get to see Anna growing up. At great exposition about their relationship.
Montage.
Joan of Arc reference. And also...
We're gonna see a montage!
And 3 different vocalists portraying her. The one in the middle is actually the daughter of the composers of the film.
Yeah.
She definitely did not get that gig because of nepotism. She was just the most talented candidate.
Sounds about right. Calming down. Telling people to calm down always works. When was Joan of Arc? Let's see, in the 1400s. So that means that this film takes place in the late 15th century or later.
And of course, it's a Disney film, so the parents have to die.
Gotta kill them parents.
Or they don't die here, they become Tarzan's parents, as some fans have theorized.
Nah, they get eaten by Sebastian.
No, they get eaten by a jaguar in Tarzan. I mean, I do kind of like the idea of, like, Tarzan being their long-lost brother.
I didn't actually see the Tarzan movie.
It's got a great Phil Collins soundtrack.
I've heard tell that. I think I've best heard it described as Phil Collins didn't have to go that hard on the
Tarzan soundtrack, but he did.
He did that for us.
Alright. I know we're making lots of jokes, but this is a beautiful sequence right here. Like, the black, the just a sense of mourning and sadness.
No, this was just honest goth phrase.
I'm sorry, like the emotion of the eyes and the animation there. It's really just brilliant. You just feel the heartache here. And just like her desire to be close to her sister, they have nothing left. And then this shot right here, when you got Elsa on the other side of the wall.
See, having not seen this movie in about 5-6 years.
And then like the snow and just like how she's like frozen in her sadness.
She's just like spooged snow all over her room.
No, it's absolutely brilliant.
It's interesting rewatching this 5 or 6 years later in that the animation is pretty good, but doesn't quite hold up to modern standards in a couple spots where you're like, oh, their faces are a little bit stiff and, devoid of features. What would the world be like where Coronation Day is that child's fault?
So this sequence right here, the way it's shot, is like an intro sequence in a video game level, as they like show you the terrain you can explore.
Arendelle. A wretched hive of scum and villainy, we must proceed with caution. We threw in a random Irishman just for shits and giggles. He's probably drunk. I identify with that man. Have you ever watched like the rejected test footage of The Incredibles when they were having trouble getting the hair right.
No, I didn't.
You can find YouTube videos under my shirt, but
This hair is great. This
Right.
is 80s hair metal hair.
right?
Like, she looks like she could be fronting Vixen with that hairstyle.
She really could. She should just rock this hairstyle.
And she has the chops to be a hair metal front woman.
Yeah, she really should just rock that hairstyle the entire time.
Yeah, here we have another perfect song.
I don't know. Now that you say it out loud, I'm like, man, I just want more Joan Jett covers.
Something Gary Glitter cover.
This is a children's film, Greg?
That's true.
Teehee.
Look, I'm a glam rocker who likes children's films and doesn't like children. Can put that out there.
Right? And still like Scary Glitter.
I like children as like people, but not in a sexual way, because that's terrible. What Gary Glitter did is
Right.
a monster.
I like
monstrous,
children
terrible
as
thing.
people who are far away from me.
Right.
And I don't have to deal with them.
I don't know. I mean,
No, actually, I like
kids are cute.
Kids are fine.
Kids are fine. I like that line of being elated or gassy.
Somewhere in that zone. I'm gonna harass some ducks. I guess, yeah, this really establishes that she's a Disney princess.
Right.
That, like, small animals are like...
Small animals like her, but also she's a little bit dorky.
Yep.
You know, smacking herself with random objects because she's a bit of a klutz. She's a foodie, which is adorable.
She's just, like, really into busts of Nero.
Yep.
Who is that bust actually supposed to be?
I don't know. Busting up that cake.
Ha ha!
But like, all right, these shots, some of the best in cinema right here. Like, these are
Pretty good shots.
these are great shots.
I sort of labor under the assumption she's practiced this a lot.
Yes.
Like, I'm so bored. I'm gonna go hang out with these paintings some more.
Okay, but this shot right here, oh, that's magic. That's magical right there.
Yeah, you can't just hover midair like that. Of course she's using magic.
Right.
She's a witch. Burn her.
Oh, so her magic powers is that she can fly. She's got air magic. She's an airbender.
There's nothing to cure, Rogue. We're fine the way we are, said the person with the godlike powers to the person whose superpower was killing everybody that she touches.
And of course, you know, the first Idina Menzel singing in this movie, and she's already stealing the show.
She's got a real menace to her eyes. Like, I'm here to become queen and murder all of my political rivals with ice powers.
Oh, there's Rapunzel making a cameo.
And I'm all out of political rivals. Oh, somebody brought a replacement cake. That's good.
Yep. And man, just like the counter melody here.
Yeah, no, it's well written.
Yeah, no, this is a Disney classic, this song. Classic I Want song.
Right. I mean, somewhat self-awarely, like, bad I Want song, in that, like, her whole premise is like, I have a single day to find true love! Yay! And then, of course, they, like, spend the rest of the film undermining that, so correctly undermine it.
Also, we've got the greatest horse in the history of cinema.
I love this horse. I forgot how great this horse is. Also, like, you know, accurate to the geography. Greatest horse.
Yep.
Which is he better at? Being a horse or a wingman?
He's pretty great at both.
He's pretty great at both.
Such adorkable dialogue.
Right?
You actually seem to be enjoying this more than I thought. You're not suffering that much, but you got like great songs, this awesome horse.
It's not a bad film. It's a good film. If you'd been making me watch Tangled half a dozen times,
why would I do that?
Right.
Remember back for April Fool's one year when I pretended I liked Tangled more than Frozen? And everyone was like, oh no, he's going to be obsessed with this movie. I'm like, nah, guys, JK.
The horse is also a great bro.
Right.
He's like, all right, now that you pulling is out of the picture, we're just going to drop you in the water. This song wasn't in the soundtrack. We didn't do this one.
We didn't. Well, it's a Rolling Stones cover. You can't always get what you want.
We had a whole series of jokes we used to make by the, half a dozens or so watched through of this film. Greg seems to remember them. I've forgotten most of them. Kind of a goofy tiara.
Don't worry, we can make this an annual tradition watching Frozen and Rocky for the holiday classics, and Die Hard.
Frozen, Rocky IV, and Die Hard, the holiday classics.
The thing is, like, all those movies that I named are legitimately great films.
No, it's true, yeah. That's the best Rocky, the best Die Hard.
The best Frozen.
Right.
Thus far. Maybe Frozen 2 will be my favorite movie. Although I'm really looking forward to Frozen 4, where Elsa fights a powerful Russian that kills Kristoff.
Yes.
I say that jokingly, but I would love that movie.
I love holy hand grenades. Yeah. I didn't realize those were actually like an important thing. But yeah, like I toured the House on the Rock for the first time this summer. I grew up in that area, and it's an amazing tourist trap. Just so much silly and pointless but still kind of awesome stuff. But they had a whole collection of like mock-ups of classic holy hand grenades, those orbs of power that people used to have.
Nice.
And they were amazing because they were all real cheap and bad looking. Just like a piece of plastic with plastic fake pearls glued onto it. Not glued straight, just glued onto it. You can see the hot glue leaking through every once in a while.
That's pretty great.
They also had like a 3-story giant squid fighting a whale sculpture.
Oh, yeah, you showed me the picture of that.
You look fuller. You look thick, Elsa.
Man, I forgot how good this dialogue was because I haven't watched this yet this year. No, wait, I did. I watched it earlier this year, but it's been a few months. But I forgot how great this was.
How do you not have this film memorized?
I do. But, it's you forget how brilliant it is until you're sitting watching it. Or you remember it, and then it hits you again. Also, freaking that, like, butler dude in the background, the more I watch this movie, the more I wonder about, like, his story arc, because he's, like, the one member on staff who's been there the entire time who knows Elsa's secret.
Oh.
Because they show him in earlier scenes, and, like, when he puts the two of them together, like, you see him maneuvering a lot of things, and I'm just like, what is with that dude? Like,
he's Jafar.
Yeah.
He's the vizier.
Is he, like, the villain of Frozen 2? Like, is he manipulating everything?
Dun, dun, dun.
But yeah, I'll probably write a Frozen fanfic about him.
Mr. Butlertron's Revenge.
Played by Tim Curry.
Honestly, if they're going to call him Mr. Butlertron, they need to get the voice actor from Clone High. Who was that?
Whew, Clone High, that is a reference.
That is a great reference. I haven't watched Clone High in months. I kid. I've only actually seen it like twice.
This movie is so good. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. Raisins episode, man.
If I cry, I need you to hold me because Amanda's not here. See, he's a bad guy. He's drinking.
Ooh. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, man, just like a waltz? You're getting me. I love waltzes.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Christopher Miller. played Vice Principal Mr. Butlertron, and also JFK.
Nice.
I'm not entirely sure who Christopher Miller is. What's this? There's magic in the air.
I love the outfits that they're wearing.
Ooh.
Like, just great costume design.
Oscar winner Christopher Miller played Mr. Butlertron. I hope that he won it for being Mr. Butlertron.
Oh, so there's the hint of exposition. I'm 13th in line to the throne.
Right?
Nothing wrong with me wanting to marry a princess I just met.
I mean, like, in terms of, like, medieval politics, this is all pretty par for the course.
Right. Do you remember my Game of Thrones sequel fanfic I pitched to you? Where, like, the people who died during Elsa's Great Freeze, like, planned a socialist revolution against her? Alright, the best villain song in the Disney canon?
I like the hint that he's totally drunk right now.
Right, well, it's the fondue.
Maybe it's the party talking.
Right.
He's on Molly right now. That is a good vocal hook right there.
It's so, and the thing is, like, they do good escalation. Like, it builds, like, for that final one. But then, look, you got a classic Disney shooting star.
Yeah.
As a foodie, I love that she's really into sandwiches.
I always thought of that as a little bit of a plot hole that, like, how many sandwiches have they had together?
They might have had one sandwich, but I think in her mind, she's like, yeah, we've had one sandwich together. That's true love. Also, great shot right here. That silhouette. Oh, that's amazing. Classic.
I wonder how much that shot was cribbed from Peter Pan.
All right, here it is. Oh, that's so good.
But instead, she goes with the guy who doesn't sing as much.
Great sequence.
Actually, as far as political alliances go, it occurs to me this is not a great setup in that neither of them is particularly in line for succession.
I mean, she's second in line.
Yeah. Well, I mean, from his plot perspective, if he's going to murder the queen and take over, yeah, he's golden. His heel turn still doesn't really make sense. Like, there's no good reason for him to be like, I want both of them dead so I can be king. Like, no, you would have a way better position if he just, like, let Elsa die, absolutely, and then married Anna still.
Oh, spoilers.
This movie's 6 years old.
I mean, that's
It's not can, Elsa. It's may not.
Well, do you remember how much the internet was lit on fire by Elsa saying you can't marry a man who you just met? And they'd be like, oh snap, Disney being self-aware and deconstructing itself.
Yep.
Like, it's become very trendy to hate on this movie, but it's, at the time, it was huge to do this. But it's still, like, it was a deconstruction, but it still, like, kept the heart of what made the films great.
Lindsay Ellis has a pretty good essay about Disney and woke culture that she just put out. She talks about sort of interesting that, like, Disney is sort of, like, increasingly feminist in the modern era, although they're still doing a real bad job of addressing their own racial history. Probably because feminism is really easy to sell. Like, They can make a lot of money off of feminism. They can't make a lot of money off of addressing Jim Crow, the character.
I mean, I feel like I can't get into nuanced commentary on that while also like commenting on what we're seeing on screen.
She takes a solid like 35 minutes to do this. I recommend it. You should pause your copy of Frozen and this video or podcast, whichever format you're listening to, and go watch that Lindsay Ellis video, which is she put way more work into it than we did.
Yeah, I'll check it out, but
yeah, not you, Greg. Like we can't break this.
Well, no, I'm saying like the listeners. But I'm saying I'll check it out in the future. But as we're watching this right now,
she's a witch, burn her.
But like this is such a once again brilliant sequence.
Oh, I don't remember if anyone freezes to death in the scene. I'm watching for it.
But like with that purple cape, it gives you like hints of Beauty and the Beast with the Beast cape. And then, right here, you're going to have a Disney throwback with her, like, the way they show her foot coming down on the ice right here, Cinderella-esque, like, reminding you of classic Disney. But then with that purple cape flowing in the background, Beauty and the Beast-esque, just epic, running across the water.
Uncle Tom's Cabin-esque.
The Warrant song? Or are you referencing the novel?
The scene from The King and I.
I don't remember that.
No, I'm just being pretentious. My first exposure to that book was watching The King and I, where like they did the scene of, I forget her name, escaping from her owner by fleeing across a frozen river. And then years later, I read the book, which is pretty good, actually. I recommend pause this, go read Uncle Tom's Cabin. It's a much better written.
I mean, Uncle Tom's Cabin is a classic.
And then pause this again and go listen to the song by Warrant, which is pretty good and has nothing to do with the book.
But this is the greatest film of all time.
She's like a cornered animal, you know?
There he is, the butler who knows everything.
And he was there with a cloak and her horse saddled and ready to go. What does he know?
Like, rewatch this movie and just, like, watch the scenes with him. That dude knows way too much and, like, doesn't talk about what he knows.
He doesn't say anything. Who is he murdering?
He has a couple lines of dialogue.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he does. But he, like, flies under the radar, but, like, I'm watching that dude. He appears in the Frozen spinoffs, too. Like, I'm like, who is that guy? He probably has a wiki page. All right, now here it is. The moment.
That song.
That song from Kingdom Hearts 3.
Bleep, bloop, 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 bleep, bleep. Bleep, bloop.
I would dare say this is one of the classic moments of cinema at this point. Like, this entire sequence. I mean, like, the YouTube video of this has, I think, like, almost 1 billion views or something crazy like that.
This is probably the peak of like musicals in musical cinema this decade.
Oh yeah, this is definitely the number one.
Like if you're gonna like rank songs included in films and like as like centerpiece things, like in the musical format, like this is definitely should be the one that's probably at the top of almost every list.
Yes, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, Moana's great. It's a very excellent film. But, like, this is cinematic magic. Alright, freaking chills right now. Olaf, appearing in the film again. Welcome back, buddy.
That's like, I like the bit where she just accidentally, casually creates life.
Welcome to womanhood.
You know what I meant.
And the cape dramatically flying off. That's so cool.
She's like, on second thought, I am an ice queen. I have magic powers and cold does not harm me.
But, man, I'm getting totally engrossed in this sequence. Like, she just, like, you can see her progressively getting, like, happier and more excited. Like, you just feel her joy bursting. I'm gonna try not to cry. I'm just a grown man sitting here with my best friend, bassist in a cock rock band, watching Frozen and trying not to cry because I'm a man. I sing songs. I sing songs about partying.
Let it go. Someone's been eating all the pies. I miss Jeremy. Now she casts Summon Castle from nowhere. I really wonder about her curriculum as a student. Like, this is showing a lot of knowledge of architecture right here. She is, like...
So is Elsa like Tony Stark with ice powers? Just real a genius?
Like, I feel like architecture is...
Also, fractals as a lyric is awesome.
Right, like, she's studied her math. Like, obviously she's not intuiting fractals by name, so clearly she must have studied some math. Did she intuit the architecture, or did she study that too?
There's the sexy let the hair down move. That's what you gotta do.
And then she
shows empowerment. And then she gets the badass dress.
Right?
And doing her power walk.
Sort of an evil sorceress dress with the leg slit.
But she's a hero. Oh, it's so awesome.
Here's that eyebrow. Put your eyebrow back.
Look, I'm sorry, Lee. This is better than every Rambo movie.
No, you're probably right about that. I feel like, the best Rambo movie is still just okay from a cinema perspective.
It's no Frozen.
I'd forgotten about that line. It's me, your sister, who didn't mean to ruin everything. She did tell you her secret. I don't remember this sequence at all. Like, any of that monologue there. And now she begins the slow process of freezing to death in the snow. Cheers, everybody.
That is Steve's second shot.
I'm pretty sure she falls into a frozen creek pretty quick here.
Yeah.
So let me cue up number 3 right quick. Oh yeah, there it is. Ugh. I feel warmer, but somehow worse.
How you doing, buddy? You just had 2 shots.
2 shots of brand name not included cinnamon whiskey. My allergies are already messing up my throat, so of course this makes everything better. Alright, video cut back up. Sort of interesting that the butler had the cloak ready, but no other materials.
Yeah, like not like a jacket. You think he would have gotten the princess a freaking jacket? Sub-Zero.
So he's got all his winter gear with him, which is sort of interesting.
Yep.
So, no shot for him, because he's clearly bundled up for this.
So I just know something new watching this movie.
What's that?
There's some bear statues on the counter. They're covered up from the angle, but there were some bear statues.
I like that none of the snow on him melts or falls off.
Yep.
Disney said gay rights.
Yep. Oh, there's the bears. I credit to Frozen that it doesn't get enough of is how great the comedy is. Like how quick-witted and fast the comedy moves.
I mean, it's no He Never Died, but carrots are a root vegetable. They're out of season, pal. Actually, they're not particularly out of season. I wonder where she keeps her money. All right, best song. Lute solo.
There's always some dude with an acoustic guitar around a campfire.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall. I still stand by the idea that the reindeer is actually delivering his own lines.
That's a good way to interpret it.
Look, he did the facial motions with it.
He did? Okay, Han Solo. Also, Anna's outfit. Great costume design in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's no He Never Died.
Just shirtless Henry Rollins.
Just that we watched that 2 days ago, and there was a costume designer credited in that film.
Just Henry Rollins went into his closet.
Would you spit on the Millennium Falcon?
I mean, probably.
Probably good luck or something. I wonder how well reindeer, how well do reindeer actually work as... I guess they're deer, so they probably aren't really trainable.
Also, the line, yes, pay attention, that's so great.
Zimmer.
Ooh.
No, wait, no.
Sandwiches got brought back in.
Right. He has servants to pick his nose for him.
Right.
And they are happy to eat them because they're hungry peasants.
I'm looking forward to the Frozen 2 Socialist Revolution film.
Right? Yeah, because Disney is absolutely going to make a film about, overthrowing capitalism.
Yeah,
That's totally their jam. No, if Disney ever, advocates for the overthrowing of, the dissolution of capitalist democracy, it's so that they can institute a despotic company town.
They already did that. It's called Orlando.
Right? Libertarianism, but, without actual freedom.
Oh yeah, this is the Guitar Wolf sequence. See? Guitar, wolf. And much like in Wild Zero, there's an explosion coming up. Fire.
That was my bedroll. I sleep in that. Willow did the sequence better. Let's be honest.
No, this is a great action sequence.
Yeah, but Willow did it better.
I don't know. There's the great witty dialogue.
Yeah, like in the Willow version.
But come on, that Looney Tunes-esque explosion and the line "I just paid it off."
It's true.
Like, Frozen is really underrated as a comedy. I mean, yes, it's no He Never Died.
It's true, it's not.
Whoa.
Whoa. Has she told him that she's the princess yet? I forget.
I think it's implied in the dialogue, but they never outright say it on screen. Maybe the trolls gave him magical reindeer communication powers.
Maybe the reindeer itself is a telepath and is able to plant his words in his head.
Maybe it turns out we were the reindeers all along.
The true reindeer was man.
Oh, he said the title of the movie!
Ah, roll credits. I like that he points her finger up and then she points her finger back down. Like, no, up, up. I'm doing a lot of hand gestures right here in this audio-only format. For you, Lipstick fans.
Yep.
Lipstick Generation fans.
Frozen fans who just discovered us through this episode. Hi, what a weird way to meet us.
I hope you like this film that I'm making fun of.
You're actually being pretty positive towards it.
No, yes, I mean.
But like, man, like beautiful sequence right here. And there we go. We have merchandise in the character.
Yeah. Fucking Olaf.
Honestly, Olaf is actually kind of a brilliant character.
Yeah, Olaf's fine. I just hate his song.
You know what's so weird? Like, my first knowledge of Josh Gad is from The Daily Show. And if you saw, like, the final episode of The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, he, like, talked about how he was a god to millions of children because it was after Frozen had come out. But, like, what they do with his character is really clever because it's a lot of sidekicks in animated films are usually, like, very loud and obnoxious. But what he does is he decides to get really quiet and whisper. Like, that's for the parents out there, they're like, that's throwing them a bone.
Yeah.
Like, you know what's really funny?
Sidekick? He's a little bit chill. He's frantic all the time, but he's quietly frantic. His catchphrase is, I like warm hugs.
I mean, that's really endearing.
Right? I will encourage your children to hug you and not scream.
And a great running gag is established right here.
Who's Summer? Is she related to Hannah?
I think she's Autumn's sister.
Hey, yo.
Cousin of Spring.
I wonder how many people named Spring are named after the season versus the, the source of water.
It's a good question.
I've got a friend from when, church as a kid whose name is Spring, but Her brother's name is Brooke, so clearly she's not named after the season.
So there's a equivalent song in Sweeney Todd called By the Sea, where all of a sudden you get like the bright, bright sunshine and water shots. So it's a sister song to that for me in a lot of ways.
Mm.
And then you got this little Mary Poppins routine over here.
Right.
And then where's that guy come back in?
Right? He references his buddies, too. I'm not sure who his buddies are. Other than that, like, Ice Monster, I guess.
This line is funny. I disagree with you, Steve.
It's okay. It's just like, whatever.
Reaching up towards the sky like Ariel. And sandwiches back in this...
Sandwiches, return of sandwiches.
Like, they do a good job of sandwiches being a core theme of this film. And I do like him belting out the big note at the end. That's funny.
It's funny that the comedian gets a, more in-depth song than the good singer.
Right.
DVD froze a little bit again. Just gradually drifting further and further behind you. Face up. Yes.
And look at him being a socialist, just trying to help out the people.
Right? What a good prince.
Oh, shoot, is he actually the hero of this?
I mean, if you think of, like, lives saved and lost in this film, Elsa killed a ton of people.
Yeah, because I'm like, there's no way...
Hans just saved how many peasant lives?
Yeah, because think about it, like, there are some, like, definitely, like, elderly who just, cannot handle the sudden change in temperature and just definitely died.
The elderly, the poor. And he's, like, personally out there on foot, handing out cloaks, probably helping some old ladies into the castle. We're like, oh, shoot, you don't have firewood stocked up right now. Because, your grandsons haven't done it for you yet. They're going to do it later in the season. And, all right, let's bring in the castle. That's a good line.
That's a great line.
Well delivered. Oh, look at that. I've been impaled.
This would be a great time for Over the Mountain by Ozzy Osbourne to play.
Over the mountain, I'm gonna free climb.
The dialogue is really great in this movie.
Oh, yeah, I think I intentionally plugged in the speakers backwards. That's why I couldn't hear her dialogue a moment ago, because I've only got my left ear on.
Yep, that entire sequence. Well written.
Trust falls. It was a good line, though. Like, I don't know if this helps, but I found a staircase that goes exactly where we want to go.
When Michael von Mueller first saw the movie, he was very disappointed in Olaf for that. He's like, what? You prevented a perfectly awesome potential action sequence of climbing a mountain.
What's the name of the Stallone movie?
Cliffhanger?
Cliffhanger. I like to think of this movie as just a cliffhanger sequel.
Probably prequel.
Flawless victory. See, all his dialogue is good.
Yeah, no, I mean, Josh Gad, I mean, he's a really talented comedian.
Just like, I hate his song.
Well, you know, he's a leftover from Avenue Q. He was, I think, in the original production of that.
Oh, nice.
So they're just like, hey, we have this friend of ours who's funny.
What song did he sing there?
I don't remember. I'm going to be honest, I'm not super into Avenue Q.
I forgot about that bit.
If you time it out, it actually is just a little over a minute. It's like
I think
70
we did that
seconds.
once, yeah. I like that she's got a frozen fountain in her ice palace, just... 'cause, why not?
Yeah.
Just go, like, real white witch with things. What's the white witch's name again? Just something?
I don't know. I really appreciate what this movie decided to do, because you know how you watch so many movies and you're like, man, why can't that villain just be a good guy if they just made a couple different decisions?
Jadis.
Jadis.
Going full Jadis with things.
But yeah, this is the movie where they actually allow like the villain character who should have turned into a good guy, like they let them do that. You know, his incredible enthusiasm is infectious.
Yep.
Therefore I am so.
Elsa's like, yeah, we built. I'm the one with the ice powers summoning magic snowmen.
Well, when they were kids, it showed Anna being the one rolling the balls that formed Olaf.
That's a flashback. It doesn't count. I mean, it's true.
Another masterful sequence. Like, first of all, this shot is just great going up the stairs.
Something hashtag brand. So many of these constructions look a little bit precarious. Like, I don't know that ice staircase would have held up.
It's magic. But also, man, so brilliant musical thing right here. When Elsa's turn to sing, she gets the big, rural, brassy instruments that make her sound like a very regal, like a queen, that sense of power. And Idina Menzel killing it.
Right? They just needed to use, like, French horns and stuff to be louder than Idina. Deep, 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 deep snow. Kind of created an ice age. I think all the mammoths are dead.
And of course, shout out to Kristen Bell, also doing great. Oh, this is so good. Like the snow building up, the music, the tension. This is masterful, dude.
I mean, in terms of ice movies, this is probably top 3. Definitely not beating out The Thing, but, you know, it's good.
I mean, certainly on par with Rocky IV, at least.
Oh no, stabbed through the heart by ice.
Shot through the heart and you're to blame.
Speaking of shots. Ah! It's working too well. I'm getting heartburn.
So is that shot 3 or 4?
It's 4.
Oh shoot, I just remembered what the ending sequence is in terms of Wolf. Oh dude, you're fucked.
I believe in me. I can do it.
Boss battle.
You fight him in Kingdom Hearts 3, don't you?
Yes, and also he becomes a party member in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Take that, you tailbones.
Marshmallow joins your party in Kingdom Hearts 3 in a surprise twist.
Smash! He's called Marshmallow?
Yeah, that's his canon name. But I think that was a really clever idea to have him be the party member in Kingdom Hearts 3
Rather than Olaf?
rather than Olaf or Elsa. Because you wouldn't expect to have him join your party.
Olaf's too weak and Elsa's too powerful.
Right.
You'll only break your spine and then you'll freeze to death.
That was a great little bit there.
Pretty good bit of animation.
Yeah.
It's funny because he's been knocked out of his normal shape.
Yes.
Good repellent right there.
Yeah.
And now he's concussed. So, I mean, her legs are shattered. And his back is broken.
Yes.
Technically, it's the snow it's the cold that will kill them from here.
Does that mean you need to take another shot?
I think so, damn it. I hate this movie.
You know, that shot glass doesn't look as full as the previous ones.
Shh, they don't have to know.
It's a good thing you're home and don't have to drive anywhere.
Yep. I don't have a skull. Or bones. Wait. Is Kristoff in Skull and Bones?
Well, this is a Obama-era film.
It's also Bush.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, yeah, it came out in the Obama era.
Yeah. Now would be a good time to mention that you saw them fix you before, that you were there.
Right? Where did he get the idea that the trolls are love experts specifically?
I mean, I guess being raised by them and hearing them talk about relationships.
I guess.
Great short little sequence here. building the tension.
Where's the red coming from?
The palace actually changes colors based upon her emotions if you pay attention.
She's got a mood palace.
Yes. Great line. Works
Real
well
nice.
with the ladies. By the way, Victor renamed our group chat Libertarian Elsa.
Libertarian Elsa. They adopted you for whatever reason.
Loudness, let it go. Really heavy. Because loudness, Japanese metal.
I know. Taking her to meet the family on the first date. Magic rocks.
Yep.
Raises the question of like why they didn't react right away. Were they just like sleeping or?
Yeah. Yeah, what do those fire crystals do?
I don't know. Clearly, they're different from mushrooms and
Kidney stones.
it's funny because they're made of rocks and they're circular, so they roll a lot.
Yep. Yeah, the song's great too.
How does the troll sense of smell work?
I don't know. Also, it's interesting that they still allow a character development song for Kristoff. It's just he doesn't get to sing it.
Right?
But yeah, he still gets a character development song.
Right?
Yeah, if you're blonde, you're less of a man, apparently.
Right?
Clearly, they're not familiar with hair metal. Or they are very familiar with hair metal. See, he just wants a hug.
Right?
Alright, this part of the song is great.
Right? This song is like, from a narrative perspective, is a little bit weird. Like, the text of the film is like, oh no, she absolutely should fall in love with this guy because he's way better. And like, from the trolls themselves' perspective, like, yeah, we want to hook up our adopted son with
this cute girl.
right, like, oh yeah, like we found a cute girl for you. You should totally get married. Like, you know, I know a lot of maternal characters who are like this.
Right.
But like, the film itself doesn't like fundamentally undermine them in any way. They're like, yeah, we'll just take this at face value that what these trolls are saying is reasonable. Which I think is, my textual issue with this.
Well, but here's what they do is this is all about setup and payoff.
Yeah.
And they're setting up, the act of true love in the third act.
Yeah.
And they're giving you the bait and switch of it being the true act of Kristoff's love. But the true love act is actually the love between siblings, Anna and Elsa. So this is necessary setup.
Yeah. You're also talking very loudly.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all right. Jeremy's not around. He's the one who gets concerned with these things. Willing to sacrifice.
Yep.
I like that you also never second guess, like, how do these trolls know who I am and who my sisters? I guess she's royalty. She's probably very self-absorbed in some important ways.
She's royalty that's been isolated inside the castle her entire life.
Right?
Because Butler guy would never let her outside.
Mr. Butlertron. Let's go kiss Hans. The Frozen story.
There's your horse.
What a good horse.
Might be the last scene the horse is in this movie.
Oh, no. Does the good horse show up in any other the other movies?
I'm not sure.
The one who joins your party.
The horse?
Yeah.
Oh, he's an ally of Hans.
It's a good horse, though. That's like being mad at cop dogs.
This is a great action sequence here. Great job of building the tension.
Yep.
Castle is changing to yellow.
Right. Come on, goon number 2, let's get her.
But that is intense. That's like in Rambo 4 where the arrow's right in front of that guy's face. So really, this is just like a Rambo movie right now.
It's true.
Except probably better directed action. Hot take Troyan.
Hot Dick Troyan. You got really good grip on those gloves.
Yeah. The score is great here. Excellent. Ah, man. That's so freaking metal right there.
Right?
And Elsa, straight up, she is ready to murder somebody here.
Right? I mean, she already murdered a bunch of people. Conceal, don't feel, or whatever. Tinnitus.
So if you look at that sequence in the context of Hans's heel turn later, is his entire thing there just plausible deniability?
Could be.
Just saying, like, I shot upwards because I was trying to save the queen, but then if she died, like, it was an accident. I tried to make her not die.
I wouldn't give him that much credit for...
I would, because you got to see his eyes dart upwards.
Yeah.
If you watch this movie many times, as I have, you see his eyes dart upwards, so he clearly sees the chandelier. It's a hint
Ah.
that only the most expert Frozen fans will notice.
Han's gonna swing from the chandelier. Han's gonna live like tomorrow doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. Rex Summer and Hannah. Let me go. One with the wind and sky.
I always thought this sounded like a Danny Elfman score right here, which isn't a bad thing.
Right? I'm still not entirely sure if you could ride a reindeer or not. CGP Grey has a pretty good video about what makes an animal trainable.
Well, it depends if you have a magic connection to the animal via troll magic.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. Also explains the difference between trainable and tameable.
Right.
So it could just be a tame reindeer rather than a, domesticated one.
I mean, you could have just ridden a chocobo.
You should have just ridden a chocobo. Is that Butlertron?
There's Butlertron. Thank you, now go away.
You have done well, Wesley. I have my hat back? My head's cold. You're somehow third in line to the throne.
Well, she left him in charge, remember?
Right? I'm already third in line for succession. When you die and your sister dies, that puts me in charge. Oh.
I actually thought this was really clever. I think this was a good twist, because I don't think most people saw it coming. And I think it's a good, as we're talking about Frozen being a deconstruction of Disney films, Prince Charming being the villain.
Yeah.
And the Ice Queen being a hero.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty clever.
In terms of his evil scheme, though, just marrying her would have been a more sure shot.
Yes.
Like, being vaguely betrothed to one of the princesses. But I already have. I called that line the first time I saw this, too.
Yeah, you did. It's sort of fitting that you're the first human I watched Frozen with.
The first human?
Well, because I watched it by myself first, but you're the first person who watched this movie with me, buddy. Congratulations. You got to be there at the beginning of the train ride. Ain't no getting off of this train.
Also, this is very premature of him.
Yes.
Like, oh no, she's dead. I mean, I didn't stick around to be sure, but... Duke of Wesselton's like, I see what you did there. Okay, sure. Yep, fine. Whatever. I know which side my bread is buttered on, so yeah, you are absolutely rightful Prince of Arendelle, or what? Treason's not a real crime. Regicide, also not a real crime. That was the thing I found myself wondering recently, is like, does a non-monarchic state like the United States have laws against regicide? And if not, would it be possible to murder royalty and have it be legal?
That's a lot to unpack.
I like the idea of just like loopholes in murder rules where like just like sometimes it's technically legal to kill a person. I mean, other than the normal loopholes of like state monopoly on violence kind of stuff.
Right.
Like, yeah, of course it's legal to murder people if you're the state executioner. Sven is so angry he's lost his telepathic connection.
Yep.
Can only communicate with mine. What, the French toast?
Yep. Once again, great building of dramatic tension.
Let's go ahead and freeze the ocean here.
You got that Kingdom Hearts horn line there. Who could that be?
Why is she so tiny all of a sudden?
She's curled up.
Yeah, but just like... all of her proportions are smaller than they were before. Olaf is a pyromaniac.
Frozen 2 Olaf gets fire powers.
Haha, yes!
Becomes a fire mage. Interesting, when I first saw the trailer, I thought Olaf was talking to Elsa here because she's all blonde here.
Mm. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. No more.
I also love how deceptive the trailers were for this movie. Like, if you watch the first trailer, it makes it look like the movie Ice Age. It's like, yeah, this is just a lighthearted, wacky comedy. He's so endearing!
Trick is now his freezer burnt. Figured out Kristoff's name.
Yep. Well, he figured it out when they went to hang out with the trolls.
It would have been funny if it had been like, it's Sven and Sven! All right, so you can make out with him. The stickiest Disney prince.
It's very interesting, like, there's the common critique of Marvel movies, how bad their third act is.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually a really good third act.
It's also not technically a Marvel movie.
Well, superpowers.
I mean, it's super
post-credit sequence.
It's owned by Disney, yes.
But yeah, it's weird that I think my favorite movie has a good third act.
You're right, yeah. What kind of nerd thinks their favorite movie has a good third act?
That's right. What kind of nerd, like, heaps praise on his favorite film
Pshaw.
and, like, notices all the good stuff? Fat Olaf is funny.
Thick Olaf.
Thick.
Thick. And thus dies Olaf.
That happens a couple times. They were just like, Olaf just gets sucked away to the wind and just like, hey, I'm not important to this section, so I'm going to conveniently vanish.
Take that, boats.
Brr, that sure does look chilly. Frostbite.
She didn't need those fingers anyway. When you're queen, you won't need a heel. That was a deep cut for all you Cinderella fans out there.
Don't know what you got till it's gone. That was a pretty big hit for all you Cinderella fans out there.
Sven has dialogue, Sven counts. Gah.
How many shots is that?
I think 5.
But hey, the movie seems to be getting funnier for you.
Yeah, this is fewer than the Gojira episode. Fewer, worse shots, because it's cinnamon whiskey and not just like tasty bourbon. I already took care of her.
Your parents are dead.
I mean, they are. Her parents are dead.
It's true.
I blame Mr. Butlertron.
All right, this sequence right here, amazing. Like, her entire world comes to a screeching halt. Like, it gets all quiet and tense. You see the snow is frozen in place. And of course, it's very Shakespearean, all the characters being at the same place at the same time.
Right? Slow-mo. I don't know if that counts or not.
I wouldn't count it. That's cool, though.
Also, I call a little bit of shenanigans on the act of true love not being her own attempt to sacrifice herself to save her sister.
I mean, maybe that is it. And it just takes a second to activate.
It takes a convenient second, so that she can turn into a block of ice and thus be immune to swords.
Yeah.
Olaf's looking on like, what's the big deal? I'm ice all the time. Does she miss the summertime too?
And here's where that other version of Do You Want to Build a Snowman would be in the fan productions. And then after that is when Anna comes back to life, because Disney death, it's not permanent.
Also, the physics of her cloak defrosting slowly like that, it should have like flopped around a little bit.
Dude, magic?
Yeah, sure. Is there a HeroClix of her? There should totally be a HeroClix of her, like, in ice form. That would be pretty awesome.
I think there might be, actually.
Does HeroClix license Disney?
Aren't they Marvel? HeroClix?
They have a lot of Marvel, yes, but I think they license it. Because they also license a lot of DC and everything.
Once again, another stunning sequence in my favorite film. Surprise, surprise, praise, praise, etc., etc.
Etc., etc. WizKids.
I wonder how many of our normal podcast listeners are going to be, like, down for this Frozen series.
Proceed to WizKids.com. Unsafe. I don't care that their SSL certificate doesn't work for whatever reason. I'm not going to buy anything. I don't even have JavaScript enabled. Oh, excuse me.
Yay, ice magic.
Shoot, the WWE exists in the HeroClix universe.
So does that mean, like, Elsa could battle Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
I mean, maybe if Elsa exists in HeroClix. Dwayne The Rock Johnson could fight a robot.
Oh, I guess she could battle Maui from Moana.
Yep. Just want to like a lift.
And also, that was a great punch.
Sure. Isn't the theory that she has super strength?
Anna?
Yeah.
Perhaps? Anna versus Ivan Drago.
Merry Christmas.
There's Mick Butler.
Mr. Butlertron. My neck hurts so bad because I play in a metal band.
That Weasel Town thing is a very old school Disney kind of joke.
Yep. So Wesselton was Arundel's primary trade partner.
Yes.
What's-
Oh, no, actually, I think Arundel was Wesseltown's primary trade partner, so it's possible that Arundel didn't lose that much in the deal.
Oh.
Whereas Wesseltown is really screwed. Elsa's being petty and ruining all those peasants' lives.
Take that, peasants. Oh, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So, Nickelodeon.
I do like that the sled has a cup holder. It's a great feature.
Gotta carry your coffee somehow. Marvel Disney clicks.
That's a reference to the original trailer.
Oh, no.
But nah, they're friends. They get along.
Oh, yeah. HeroClix started carrying Disney stuff in 2011. So, yeah. You probably could have Elsa fight Dwayne The Rock Johnson. There are rules for that.
And Butlertron.
Mr. Butlertron.
He, like, once you recognize Butlertron, you can't unsee him.
Right? So many frozen fountains.
Yeah.
It's very clever of them because they can just like sort of render those once and then they don't have to like animate them.
Yeah.
You know what's hard to animate? Water. You know what's easy to animate? Ice. Unless you want to do a lot of lighting effects. Lighting effects more difficult. Are we watching the credits too, or?
There's an after credit scene. We have to.
Oh, now. Unless it freezes. Good thing we were only doing, when characters froze to death, not when your DVD froze.
Right? Ew.
Oh, yeah, we're a solid 5 seconds behind our viewers right now.
Yeah, so apologies for that. That's completely my computer's fault. When I watch it at home on the DVD player, it doesn't have that issue.
Thanks, Microsoft.
Yep. Thanks, Windows 10, for being worse than Windows 7.
Yeah. Makes everything seem small.
So, that's probably your 20th time watching this?
Right? No, I think I'm within half a dozen. I could count it on one hand. The trick is I can count to 31 on one hand.
So, yeah, how does it hold up after not seeing it for a couple years?
Still got its moments. It's pretty good. It's one of those movies I don't hate. I don't dislike it. It's fine to see every 5 or so years. I won't complain. I mean, I'll complain when I'm watching it with you, just because of the shtick, you know?
Right. Look, commitment to the bit is important.
Excuse me.
Alright, so...
Burping up Chinese food and cinnamon whiskey.
In terms of examining the psychology of Greg, does this film make sense being my favorite? You know me pretty well at this point.
I'm surprised that it's gradually escalated to favorite. And that when it first came out, you were like immediately like, this is definitely one of my top five films. Surprising that like I was in my mid-20s when one of my top 5 films came out, and now at this point you're like, number 1.
Well, I mean, I can't think of like a film that really justifiably competes with it for number 1. Because, alright, so looking at my other favorite movies, like the Rocky movies, perhaps it's an entire saga. I don't know, man, Frozen's really good. So...
All the Rockies. Almost as good as Frozen.
Almost as good as Frozen. Hey-o, Frozen DVD.
Hey! Our fans can't see this.
But yeah, Surf Ninjas, not as good as Frozen.
Wait, I forget Surf Ninjas was in your top 5.
Oh, I don't know if it's in the top 5, but I'm thinking, because like the thing is, my top 10 movies, probably 8 of them are Rocky films.
So, 8 Rockies, Frozen, and Surf Ninjas.
Well, hold on, there's Batman 89, there's Batman Returns, there's The Dark Knight, there's Cobra. There's probably Dragon Ball Z Dead Zone.
Man, I haven't seen that in forever.
It's a trim. It's like, it's 45 minutes. It just flies by. And just like, it's the thing where I know it's not a masterpiece, but I can just sit down and watch it anytime because it's so short.
Yeah.
And it's just like a feel-good comfort movie. But I mean, like, Sweeney Todd, that's another one of my favorites. But like, with Frozen, it's almost like putting on a favorite album. Like, musicals where just like, you just put it on and you can just have it on all the time and not really get bored of it because you just love the songs. But yeah, I was not expecting this to escalate to number 1. Like, especially when my initial response was just like kind of writing off like, oh, whatever, that's a modern Disney film. I'm sure it's fine. And then just being surprised at how much it resonated with me. So here's a weird thing for me.
Doug Walker is one of the layout artists. I wonder if it's that Doug Walker.
It's probably not, because this is professionally done and good. Oh.
It's hip to be mad at Channel Awesome right now.
Yeah, man, I feel a little bit bad for the guy just because, like, internet mobs are just toxic. But also...
He shouldn't have done a terrible The Wall parody then.
I mean... It's ultimately the same quality as his past work. Say what you will about it. The thing is, like...
It's the same quality, which is low, and also ambitious, and also he got the dude from Slipknot to be in it.
Here's what I will say. I don't like the way he poorly treated collaborators and former employees. And just Channel Awesome's history with their underlings, I think, is problematic.
I've heard that, but I don't really know it very well or have a horse in that fight.
I don't have a horse in that fight, but I'm saying that's like the one thing I would like be comfortable criticizing, as opposed to just being like, oh, their content isn't great. As
that said, I did like a lot of Spoonie videos back in the day,
and also,
Lindsay Ellis is now making great videos.
I'm not as into Spoonie's videos in the sense that, like, I think a lot of it didn't age very well, which I'm sure will be the same with this podcast. Probably not aging very well.
Right, yeah. Like, if it's 2029 and you're thinking about sitting down and listening to this podcast, I'm sorry, you're already like an hour and a half in and you made a terrible life choice.
Well, because think
You
about
go find something better to spend your time doing.
Well, think about just how much the culture changes over the course of a decade, where Nostalgia Critic's humor back in 2007 was actually, like, some of the better stuff on the internet back then.
It's true.
And so, and now it's considered just, like, outdated and, trash by a lot of people's standards.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel kind of bad for the guy in that sense, because he is just trying to create art he sincerely feels. And so I don't want to necessarily criticize him for the art he is creating.
Although, like, not updating his art over the course of a decade to keep pace with the quality of content that people are putting out, I think,
right? Because
that's on him.
Because the level of cinematography and standard, like, online review videos have gone up substantially, and his have sort of stayed the same quality.
Right.
But I don't want to. But as we're just, what are we doing? We're just putting up a damn thumbnail over this.
Right, because, we do audio.
Right.
We are musicians,
and also,
not videographers.
And also, we're ultimately lazy. Like we've said many times that our podcast is a cheap plug for our band. So, like, this is just a very low-budget commercial for us. Admittedly, it's doing something that I enjoy, watching my favorite movie and forcing Steve along for the ride. But that's what this is. It's so, like, we're not trying to hold ourselves, at least our podcast, to the same standard of Nostalgia Critic videos. But I would say, like, if he's doing stuff that makes him happy and makes his fans happy, man, like, yeah, even if I think his stuff isn't that great, I don't want to go around criticizing it necessarily. But I do like how we spent almost this entire credit sequence talking about Nostalgia Critic.
I mean, what else are we going to talk about? Like, this vaguely instrumental reprise of all of the music?
I mean, it's pretty great.
I don't know why I said vaguely instrumental. It's definitely instrumental.
But man, this is
my excuse for anything that I may say that is dumb or incoherent is, 6 shot of cinnamon whiskey.
It's cinnamon whiskey. Now this is a great film. This is a masterpiece. Did not anticipate the Disney princess film that came out in my early 20s would be my number one film of all time.
Right.
The Paddington films are also up there for me.
Oh yeah, you did enjoy those. We did an episode about those already.
Yeah.
When's Paddington 3 come out?
I don't know. The rumor mill is still pretty crazy on that.
In Memoriam, Poppy. Didn't she just put out an album? I thought she was still alive. Right, we're making Poppy references. What are you listening to this in 2029? What's wrong with you?
Production babies.
Do you think Poppy still exists in
the
a
views and opinions expressed by Christoph in the film that all men eat their own boogers are solely his own and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Walt Disney Corporation or its filmmakers.
I mean, Walt Disney also had somebody to pick and eat his boogers for him.
It's true.
Video games available from Disney.
Like Kingdom Hearts 3.
Dolby. What if they did in Dublin?
In 2013, I was 23 when this came out.
Mr. Fancy Math for his age is easy to do guy over here.
It's very easy. And alright, let's get that sweet post-credit sequence. There we go. We got Nick Fury approaching Elsa, asking her about the Avengers Initiative.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Queen Marshmallow.
Alright, well there we go. That is Frozen.
Frozen, Part 1.
Yep, stay tuned, folks. We've got more Frozen episodes coming up next week. Steve, where can they find us online?
They can find us at lipstickgeneration.com and Lipstick Generation on... Oh, piracy is not a victimless crime. Cute.
By the way, please buy the official product.
Please, I don't know, listen to our music. It'd be nice if you pay us for it, but, mostly listen to it.
I was talking about buying the official Frozen DVD, but yeah, that too.
Whatever, Disney's got more money than we do.
All right, that's our episode. Bye, folks.